Hi there folks, and welcome back to the channel. I know you're probably wondering what's Uncle Paul doing on the Presley Girls channel. Well, they're both very busy, you know, Katie with Ira and Corey with Woodrow, so I'm trying to help them out by shooting something and then turning it over to them. But I'm sitting here with my good friend Mr. Tom Spencer, and I've known Tom since about 2008, and I first got to know you through the context of Big Brothers Big Sisters.
That's right.
Would you like to share a little bit about that?
That's right. You were a principal then, and we had just developed a relationship with Cherokee County Schools to help us grow our program in the county. As I had started the branch here for Big Brothers Big Sisters in 2010, we just had 5 kids at Murphy Elementary, and since then we've grown to 100 kids.
Wow.
But we have a lot of trouble even today getting volunteers, you know, to be
the bigs.
Right. Yeah. And it's a really rewarding experience. I've done it with 3 kids.
Yeah.
I started back in 1999.
Wow.
It's been almost 27 years ago, and I've had my first little brother is 35 now.
Cool.
And my new little brother now is 11. And
wow.
It's been a great experience, and anybody that would get involved, I think, would really enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, that's how we met, and then we found out we both played tennis.
Oh yeah, that's a shared passion. Before we leave the Big Brothers topic, I want to mention that we'll put a link in the description down below to take you to information. Anybody that is interested in becoming a big brother or big sister, because it's just one of the most impactful things that you can do. And as a school principal, I mean, I just was so fortunate to be able to have that connection with you, and we always had students who were in need of that. Like you said, the hard part, it's not hard finding littles.
Right.
There's so many littles out there that need that positive role model in their lives. It's finding those bigs, and like Tom said, it's something that can be very rewarding for you. So look in the description below if you're at all interested in that. But yeah, not long after
I think
that,
we have 30 kids now still on the waiting list.
wow, that shows the need right there.
Yeah, it's a big need.
And there's probably a lot more than that.
I'm sure.
But as far as the tennis, if I remember correctly, I ran into a gentleman in Walmart, and he noticed I had a tube of tennis balls in my shopping cart. Pat Carrington, who's a mutual friend of ours, he kind of peeked in my cart and he said, "Oh, you play tennis?" And then I'd already met you, but I didn't know you played tennis. And then through Pat, we wound up playing a lot of tennis together. Had a lot of great fun.
Yeah, I wish I had your game.
Well, yeah, I think that's mostly
I've got a few years on you.
That's it. Yeah, I think it's not a difference in ability, just a difference of being a little bit younger. Let's see, what else do we want to say before we kind of get to the part of the heart of what this video will be about. I also want to add, and this is not something that Tom brings up himself, but Tom is also a veteran who served in Vietnam. He was actually a chopper pilot, and so I always want to mention how much I appreciate the service of anyone, you know, who's been a part of our armed services. So I very much appreciate you doing that. Very dangerous role. So I just wanted to add that Tom is a veteran. When's the last time? Something I've never asked you, I'm going to ask you right now on camera that I'm just curious about. When's the last time you drove a chopper?
1979.
1979. So when the war was over, you were kind of...
Yeah, I'd had enough of it. It was a great experience, and I enjoyed it most of the time.
Most of the time, when you weren't being shot at.
Right, but I didn't really have any desire to go back to it after I got out of the service.
Seems like such a challenging thing to do.
Requires a lot more coordination than flying a fixed wing aircraft.
That's what I figured.
Especially the hovering part,
right?
Because you've got to do really fine controls. You know, it's easy to overcorrect.
Right.
So you know, hovering, you've got your pedals, you've got your cyclic, you've got your collective that controls the pitch and the blades. But you know, once you get used to it, it's kind of like riding a bike.
I guess
it's a little difficult to learn in the beginning.
Sure. My dad was a Marine, and that was one of his least favorite things, was riding on a helicopter. Just the noise and the vibration and all the different movements that you don't really make in in a plane, I guess. But another mutual friend of ours, tennis player Mike Conkle, he also served in Vietnam, and he was a helicopter mechanic. And he shared with me that he thought the pilots were just so cool. And he and his mechanic buddy, after a while, they decided they wanted to become pilots. And the Army was like, well, yeah, we'll let you do that. Here, start studying on this. And then he began to notice the mortality rate. And he said, no, we're good. We're good with being mechanics. We'll do our part right here. But I just wanted to add that. So the real reason for this video, as you'll see later on, is that Tom and his son Todd, they created a game that we're going to all play later in the video, and I think you'll enjoy that, and then I think you'll also enjoy getting your own copy of the game. Before we do that, I want to back up a little bit further, even prior to your service. Where did you grow up?
Well, I'm a product of Appalachia, like you.
Right.
But not this part of the country. I grew up in the hills in Kentucky, and I was born in a little town called Corbin, which is the only claim to fame really with Corbin is that's where Colonel Harlan Sanders had his first chicken
KFC.
restaurant.
I love KFC.
That was the birthplace of KFC. And
cool.
In fact, I used to go to his original little restaurant in Sanders Court.
Wow.
With my grandparents long before he started the franchise. So that's where I was born, but because my mom was from Corbin, but then we moved across the river to McCreary County, which is a very poor part of Appalachia. It's in the mountains. It's a lot like here. It's beautiful country.
Coal mining.
Coal mining country. My grandfather worked for the Stearns Coal and Lumber Company, and that company was started by a guy from Michigan named Justice Stearns. But they had several coal mines and a big timber business, and they built the whole town of Stearns, where my dad grew up.
Wow.
But that was also in McCreary County.
Now, while you were there, to kind of segue to the game that you created, you shared with me about kind of growing up around your cousins and what life was like there. You want to share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. It was a great place to grow up because the Daniel Boone National Forest was our playground.
Awesome.
We'd disappear on weekends, summer days, and we'd be gone in the woods all day long, back in the creeks and the caves. And
wow.
And our only rule was you better be home by dark.
Right.
And we didn't dare break that rule. But otherwise, we had free reign of thousands of square miles of forest. So,
awesome.
So it was great. But when we weren't out in the woods, if it was raining or we just wanted to stay home, we played games.
Right.
We played all kinds of board games and card games.
No video games back then.
No. They weren't invented yet.
Right.
But we loved every kind of game you can think of. Monopoly to Risk to Sorry, Parcheesi, all kinds of card games. And we could play all day. And I really got to love it because of playing with my cousins who lived just down the road. And then as adults, my children and grandchildren all like to play games. We're always trying to come up with a new game to play. And so I decided that it would be fun to invent one.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's when I came up with the idea for TrikPlay.
TrikPlay. And I've played it a few times with Tom. It's very fun. I've yet to beat him, but maybe I'll get him later on in the video. And I've been playing it with Katie of the Presley Girls, and I've actually yet to beat her. She's really good at meeting her bid, and you'll learn more about that. And I'm going to go back a little bit to the cousins in just a moment, but we will have a link in the description below. You can buy this game, and it is a lot of fun, directly off Amazon. And there's a lot of strategy involved with it. I'm not a math-minded person. I'm more of a language person, but even I could understand it and strategize. And one thing that appeals to me about the game, because I played some games growing up too, with my brothers and sisters, cousins, so on, is a lot of those games could go on and on and on. I don't know if I've ever even fully finished a game of Monopoly, because it could just go on for hours. But with TrikPlay, you kind of have a window. You know that it's probably going to last about 45 minutes if you play all the rounds involved.
Right. There's only 4 rounds, and you're right, you can play a whole game in about 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a combination of luck and skill.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2 things that I tried to incorporate in the game, really 3. First of all, I wanted it to be easy to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So, my grandkids as young as 8 years old have learned the game. I wouldn't say they've mastered it, but
Right.
they've learned it to the point where it's fun. And so the time element was another thing. The other thing is that a lot of card games, I used to play a lot of bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And with bridge, it was fun if you had cards. But if you had bad hands, you just sat there like a bump on a log.
Right, just not involved, really.
Right. You're just not involved in the game. With this, it's individual scoring, but you can win with a
bad
terrible hand.
Right.
Because the key is accurate bidding. So if you
Right.
have the worst hand ever,
Mm-hmm.
and you bid 0 and you
Mhm.
make 0, you can actually score more points than
Mhm.
somebody who bids a high number but falls short by
Mhm.
1. So you stay in the game no matter how bad your cards are.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy that aspect of it. I also enjoy the fact that, I lost my train of thought there, that you can affect your opponents. They have something that they're wanting to accomplish, but if you're patient and you think ahead, you can kind of derail something that they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes me a saboteur, but I like that aspect about it. And there will be a link to a whole separate video that kind of goes through the rules of how the game is played. And there's also an insert in here that tells how the game is played. And you can play it with 2 people up to 6 people, and it tells you kind of all the different scenarios and how that would work. Because we didn't want to, in this video, go through all the rules, but you can watch that separate video, and you can watch us play. And we'll try to put some text on the screen. And of course, you keep your cards hidden from your opponents, but in the video, we may allow you to kind of circle around the table and be able to see everyone's hand. Going back to those cousins, y'all were playing basketball and baseball and all kinds of physical sports, then all sorts of kind of competitive things, different games. I don't know if this is part of your inspiration, you and Todd, for creating the game, but I'll see if you agree with this. Do you feel like today maybe more families, more people, whether they be young people or older people, that it might be a healthy thing for them to kind of disengage a little bit from social media and their phones and all the scrolling?
Absolutely. When our grandkids are here, I force them to put down their phones and their tablets, and once they get involved in the games, whether it's TrikPlay or some other game,
Mm-hmm.
we have a great time. And
Mhm.
that was one of the things that I really wanted to do, was create something that's family fun,
Mm-hmm.
that gets them away from the screens.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to say something about Todd. I came up with the idea for the game and the basic rules, but he helped me refine it.
Mm-hmm.
Todd is my oldest son. I can't believe that he's a senior citizen now. he's
Really?
He'll be 56 in a couple of months.
Okay.
But he is an architect, and he did all the graphics for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Spent hundreds of hours putting together all the graphics for the box and the cards, and then we got a trademark on the name, which
Mhm.
is registered with the U.S. Patent Office. And
Well, he did
Todd was a big part of that.
He did a great job with the artwork, and you both did a great job with kind of the structure and how the game works. And coming back to that idea of disengaging, this is something that you can do with your family and step away from social media. And yes, I realize the irony of me talking about disengaging from social media while you're watching this on YouTube, but it can still be a healthy thing. I'll share a quick story. I was coming back from a tennis tournament, and I stopped at Williamson Brothers Barbecue. It's a great place to eat in Canton, and it's so close you can just, easy exit off, easy exit back on to 515. And a lot of times when you play a weekend tournament, you're coming back on a Sunday. So I had ordered, I was waiting for my food, and there was a great big family beside me at a big long table. And I kind of glanced over, and I noticed they were all quiet, and they all had their heads down. From the gray-haired folks to the little bitties, they were all looking down. And so I thought, it's Sunday. They're praying as a family. That's what I should do. So I took a moment, and prayed. And then I looked up and I thought, well, wow, they're still praying. And then eventually I realized, no, they were not praying. Every single member of that family was looking down at a phone. And so they were not engaging with each other. They were not having those conversations. So I think this is one way that you can do it, but however you do it, I think it's good to try to disengage.
One of the other twists we didn't mention is the trickster. This little guy right here is like a joker, but a little bit different. And you were talking about upsetting everybody's plans.
Right.
You can play that card at any time. So when your opponent is about to make his bid, you can steal that particular trick from him, and
something you want to hold. It's kind of like a
right. You want to play it
ace up your sleeve.
Right. Hold on to it. Play it at a strategic time.
Right. Don't put any cards up your sleeve. I appreciate you sitting down and talking with me about it, and we may think of other things that we wish we'd shared, and if so, we can kind of put that in the description below or work it in a later part of the video. But I'm looking forward to us sitting down. He's going to come over to Tipper's house, my sister, and hopefully he and his wife, Joanne, and me, Tipper, Katie, and Corey, we're all going to play the game. And so I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you will, if you're interested in being a big brother or big sister, I hope you'll look into that information below, and then I hope you'll order your own copy of TrikPlay. I have a couple of copies. I gave one to my nephew Ben because he has children, and it's something that they can play together.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah,
I really appreciate you doing this, and
my pleasure.
It's been a great friendship, and
well, thank you
I
very
hope
much.
it'll be for many more years.
Me too. It's been a blessing.